Imagine this. You're home alone. It's quiet, until you hear soft footsteps upstairs. But when you check, no one's there. Days go by, food goes missing, lights flicker on and off, and you feel eyes on you. Yet you live alone. Sounds like a horror movie, right? But for these people, it was real. Tonight, we uncover 7 chilling true stories of strangers secretly living inside people's homes, in walls, attics, and crawl spaces. And some of them weren't just hiding, they were hunting. There's something uniquely terrifying about home invasions. Your home is supposed to be safe, your refuge. But what happens when the intruder doesn't break in to rob you, but to live with you? These are the stories that will make you check your attic tonight. Let's begin with one of the most infamous cases. Case 1. Daniel LaPlante. The Boy in the Walls. It's 1986, in the quiet town of Townsend, Massachusetts. Annie Andrews, a teenage girl, starts receiving mysterious phone calls. The caller seems to know things about her, personal things. She brushes it off as a prank, until one night, she hears scratching noises coming from the walls of her house. Her family thinks it's mice. But the noises continue, whispering, knocking, and then, a chilling message written on the wall. I'm in your room. Come find me. When police are called, they search the house. That's when they find him, 16-year-old Daniel LaPlante. Not just hiding in a closet, but crouched inside the walls, with peepholes drilled into them, so he could watch the family in secret. He wasn't there to steal. He was there to terrorize them. And he had been doing it for weeks. Case 2. The Ohio Attic Man. 2012, in Lakewood, Ohio. A young couple moves into a new home. But soon, strange things start happening. Food missing from the fridge, lights on when they return home, soft creaks in the attic at night. They think they're imagining things, until one evening, they hear heavy footsteps above their bedroom. Terrified, they call the police. When officers enter the attic, they find an intruder, a man living among their belongings. He'd been using their house like his own, eating their food, using their shower, and sleeping above them, every night. He had even created a makeshift bedroom up there. Case 3. The Denver Crawlspace Stranger. In 2014, a Denver family is plagued by an unsettling problem. Constant scratching and whispering noises from their basement. At first, they think it's animals. But the smell of cigarette smoke convinces them otherwise. When they finally check, they make a horrifying discovery. A homeless man has been living in their crawlspace for nearly 3 weeks. He'd been observing their routines, sneaking out at night to move through their house, and slipping back into the darkness before sunrise. The family had been unknowingly sharing their home with him the entire time. Case 4. The Ghost in the Walls. This one sounds like a ghost story, but it's far more real. In 2005, a Japanese woman living in Fukuoka notices something strange. Food constantly disappearing, her TV turning on while she's gone. She thinks she's losing her mind, until she installs a hidden camera. What she sees is chilling. A man, slipping out of her cupboard when she leaves for work, moving casually through her home, using her shower, eating her food, and then disappearing back into a small storage space. Police arrest him, but later reveal he'd been living there for almost a year. Case 5. The Seattle Stalker. 2019, Seattle. A woman living alone notices strange changes. Windows open, clothes missing, and subtle signs that someone else has been inside her house. One night, she hears faint creaking from her attic. She calls the police, who make a horrifying discovery. A man had been living in the attic for weeks. He had stolen small personal items, jewelry, clothing, even her mail, and created a nest above her living space. Investigators say he had been watching her movements closely, planning something. Case 6. Theodore Edward Connies, the Spider-Man of Denver. Now, let's go back to one of the oldest and most gruesome cases. In 1941, Theodore Edward Connies, a 59-year-old drifter, broke into the home of an old acquaintance in Denver. But he didn't leave. Instead, he crawled into a tiny attic crawlspace and lived there for weeks. When the homeowner eventually discovered him, Connies panicked and beat him to death. For weeks, police couldn't figure out who killed the man. But when they searched the house again, they found Connies curled up in the attic. He later became known as the Denver Spider-Man. Case 7. The Hidden Tenant. 2013, South Carolina. A man returns to his vacation home after several weeks away. only to find it's been occupied. Someone has been living there, rearranging furniture, using his kitchen, even sleeping in his bed. The culprit? A woman who told police she just needed a safe place to live. But here's the scary part. She had been there for months, entering through a window and hiding whenever he visited. Imagine it. Living with someone who watches you in your most private moments. Someone who knows your routines, your habits, and has been inside your home, without your knowledge. These stories aren't just disturbing, they're nightmares made real. Which of these cases creeped you out the most? And do you think this happens more often than we know? Comment below, and if you're brave enough for more real horror, subscribe and hit the bell. We're just getting started.